Good afternoon, it's 1 o'clock. I'm Louisa and this is Leeds Hacks Radio News. Obesity rates have escalated amidst the pandemic. Experts fear that current figures would likely end any hope of the government's target to halve child obesity rates by 2030. Saliha Aziz believes the government could have done more to help this cause.
Yeah, I think the government should have done a lot more to target obesity. For example, instead of promoting physical activity, they even had the takeout scheme, and all these businesses were giving really unhealthy food for much cheaper. They closed green spaces, and if anything, that was encouraging obesity.
Coronavirus is still very prominent in the UK, and for women who are wanting to start a family, they must consider the concern of getting vaccinated for both themselves and their baby. Maria McEnany, who is due to give birth next week, says that the whooping cough vaccination causes the same effect as the COVID vaccine, where pregnant women are fearful of the unknown.
I think it's just the fear of the unknown, right? At the end of the day, you really don't know what it is, and you just have to trust the science and trust everything behind it and trust what you're being told by the medical professionals and trust that they have your best interests at heart.
Residents of Leeds are looking forward to the proposed plans of a mass transit system following Boris Johnson's announcement of £200 million worth of immediate funding to the city. Angus Kinder is a student who uses public transport to commute to university.
I'm really looking forward to a new tram system coming in, I think it'll be really beneficial for me as a student because I'm always getting the bus, taxis and the trains, and it costs quite a lot as a student, and obviously the tram's going to be more environmentally friendly, so that's always a good benefit, and it's just more efficient to get to uni, and it'll make my life as a student much easier, I think, commuting to lectures.
In collaboration with Rainbow Junction, Exhale Leeds have set up their very first Pay As You Feel event. Samira Kazi, who attended the event, explains why she thinks it will positively benefit the community.
I think it's a really inclusive aspect of the whole project and the whole event, because it's a good way to get the students engaged with local community, but also open the space up for other people that aren't necessarily within the student bubble to feel like they're able to come. And I think it makes it incredibly accessible.
A grand total of £39 million raised over the weekend for children. The charity supports over 2,500 local charities in the UK, and the night was filled with a variety of encouraging audience of millions. The State Market in Leeds has the Good 60, meaning that certain stalls in the market will now be available online. It was launched last year. Official.
It was a big help in COVID, when all the restaurants and everything had to close, and people had to isolate and stuff. Being online was a way to keep us open, I guess.
The Leeds Corn Exchange is hosting its first ever Christmas market. The markets will feature a variety of small businesses, food and drink vendors, and live music in the historic building. The market will be open every Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday up until Christmas Eve. Now on to Erin with the sport.
Thanks, Louisa. First up, Wayne Rooney has blamed the United for the sacking of boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The Norwegian was dismissed after a run of 5 defeats in their last 7 Premier League matches. Michael Carrick has been placed in interim charge whilst they search for a new manager. Rooney's head coach at Derby and tells Sky Sports he's not been approached for the Old Trafford job.
I'm Derby County manager. I keep working hard to pitch for this team, and as I've said, I'm committed to this club.
Next up, an England manager, Gareth Southgate, signed a new contract to remain with the national team until at least the end of 2024. The former defender marks 5 years in the role at the end of the month, led England to their first major final in 55 years at last summer's Euros. They've also easily qualified for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. His assistant Steve Holland has also agreed a new deal. And British cyclist Mark Cavendish suffered a collapsed lung and 2 broken ribs in a crash during the Ghent 6-day track event last night. He's been receiving treatment in the intensive care unit of a Belgian hospital after leaving the velodrome on a stretcher, but it is expected to be discharged soon. And that's all for the sport.
Thanks very much, Erin. It's 1 minutes past and there'll be more news at 2.